Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this occasion, I would like to talk about teaching English as a foreign language. There are 9 materials that I will explain. Okay, let's start it. The first material is History of Language Learning. The history of TFL evolved from grammar-focused method to communication-based approaches. Early methods emphasize rules and translation, while modern techniques prioritize speaking, interaction, and real-life communication. The history of language learning in TFL started with grammar and translation method. Later, it focused on speaking through practice and drills. Today, it emphasizes communication and real-life use of the language. And here's some simple version of history of language learning. Like ancient times, focus on grammar and translation of Latin and Greek without emphasizing speaking. Like 20th century, audiolingual method used drills and repetition, but was criticized for being too mechanical. The second material is teaching language. Teaching language in TFL means helping students learn English as a foreign language. It focuses on developing skills in speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Teachers use different methods and activities to improve student grammar, vocabulary, and communication abilities depending on their needs and goals. There are several concepts of teaching language. The first is teaching approach. It is a set of um, principles, belief, or ideas about the nature of learning which is translated into the classroom. The second is teaching method. The systematic way of doing something. It implies an orderly, logical arrangement of steps. It is more procedural. The third is teaching technique. Teaching techniques are such steps we follow when we teach. It is the teacher's style or tricks to accomplish an immediate objective. The fourth is teaching strategy. Teaching strategy or method of approaching a problem or task, mode or of operation for achieving a particular end, or plan design of for controlling and manipulating certain information. And the last one is teaching model. Teaching model is a conceptual framework that describes how teachers and students interact in the learning process. The third material is teaching method 1, consists of audiolingual method. This method focuses on repetition and drills to teach language. And the second is direct method. This method avoids translation and teaches language directly in the target language. It focuses on speaking and listening through conversation, visual aids, and real-life examples, encouraging students to think in English. The third is indirect method. This method is less structured and allows students to learn language naturally, often through exposure and interaction. It emphasizes activities like storytelling, group discussion, and contextual learning, and fostering creativity and independent learning. The fourth material is teaching method 2. It consists of physical response. In this method helps beginners learn English through physical action such as stand up, making it engaging and reducing anxiety. Though it is more suitable for beginner and limited in advanced topics. Number 2 is the grammatical translation method. Focuses on translating sentences and understanding grammar rules, which help deepen vocabulary and grammar knowledge, especially for reading and writing. However, it offers limited practice in speaking and listening and can become repetitive. Uh, the last one is communicative approach. Emphasize real-life communication through activities like discussion, role plays, and games, building confidence in daily conversation, while it encourages speaking and listening. It tends to have less focus on grammar and can be challenging for a beginner. The fifth material is teaching approach, communicative approach. In teaching, English focuses on helping students use the language for real-life communication. It emphasizes interactive activity like discussion, role play, and games where students practice speaking and listening in meaningful context. The goal is to build student confidence and fluency in everyday conversation. This approach encourages communication over the strict focus on grammar rules, making learning more engaging and practical, while it promotes speaking and listening skill. It might not give as much attention to grammar and can be challenging for beginners who needs more structure. And the sixth material is content-based approach in language teaching. Focus on teaching a language through subject matter or content, rather than just language itself. In this approach, students learn English by studying topics such as history, science, or literature, while simultaneously improving their language skill. The main goal is for students to gain both knowledge of the content and proficiency in the language. This approach is engaging because it connects language learning to real-world subject, making it more meaningful. The next material is traditional approaches to language assessment. Typically focus on measuring a student ability to recall information and demonstrate knowledge through standardized tests. These methods often emphasize grammar, vocabulary, reading comprehension, and writing skill. And the next material is understanding productive and receptive skill. Productive skills refers to abilities that allow learners to produce language. That include speaking, writing, and receptive skills refer to the abilities that allow learners to understanding and process language. These include listening and reading. The last material is teaching adult learners. Involves understanding their unique characteristics and needs. Andragogy, the theory of adult learning, emphasizes the differences between adult and child learners. Key principles of andragogy include the first is self-concept. Adults see themselves as self-directed learners. They prepare to take responsibility for their own learning, making decisions about what and how they learn. The second is adult learner experience. Adults bring a wealth of personal and professional experiences to the learning environment. The third is readiness to learn. Adults are generally ready to learn when they see the immediate value or application of what they are learning. The fourth is orientation of learning. Adult learners are often problem-centered rather than content-centered. And the last one is motivation to learn. Adults are motivated by internal factors such as personal growth, career advancement, or the desires to solve specific problem. Okay, that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.